Hey, this is episode number 318 of UFO Buster Radio. It's been cold as hell the last 2 days in Texas, and I feel like not only am I trying to recover from the extractions, but now I feel like a cold coming on. Like I literally feel that these two things together, these two situations, it's changing my voice. It's changing what I say. 'Cause a lot of times, because I still got a little bit of swelling, I feel like I talk like Daffy Duck. That's a true story. Today we won't have any sound effects from Bugs the UFO Hunter farting or snoring because he's been removed from the area while the podcast is going on, so I can focus and not breathe in the methane and butane, because I think some of that shit is flammable that he tends to drop when he's around the podcast recording. I want to just also give one shout out to someone, an individual in the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4, ordered a t-shirt, UFO Buster Radio t-shirt. Thank you very much. I don't know who you are. I don't get that kind of information, but I did get a notice recently that actually happened. Usually the notices come a few weeks apart from when the order actually takes place. Thank you very much, and hopefully you like the quality of it. You wear it in public and proudly say that you are a UBR nut. Crazy. Misunderstood. Slightly deranged. But there to represent. And that's why we love you. So, 2 things for today. We are going to visit Asgardia. Because we should. This is... I think it's been, almost 3 years since Asgardia came on the scene, and actually pissed off a lot of people when I first talked about Asgardia. They were not happy about my take on the Space Nation. But, it's something to talk about. We need to revisit it because, Asgardians, they're a real thing. It's really a thing. We're going to talk about some of the numbers and some of the ideas that Igor Ashurbeyli and the folks that run Asgardia have been talking about as of late. And no, I wasn't going to forget about Asgardia. I mean, come on, I got a lot of laughs out of it. And then you watch the Avenger movies over the last few years. I mean, how could you not? How could you not picture Igor Ashurbeyli in a Thor costume? I mean, really. Before we get into Asgardia, though, remember I've been saying I've been getting a lot of voicemails sent to that number that you can also use to call into the podcast if you want to chat about stuff, which will be open tomorrow for call-ins during the Thursday Freakout, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I got a message. I got a message from someone that had some experiences with tall blonde aliens from another dimension. And I'm going to play it for you. Actually, that'll be the first order of business after we get through our Christmas song. It's only going to be one, but it's not so. Come on, you got to give me something. Just one thing. That's all I'm asking for. We're going to play one of those. Then we're going to play his voicemail. And you guys tell me what you think. I actually played this thing 3 separate times. Just listening and trying to figure out what's happening here. But I'll leave it up to you guys to let me know how you feel about this. And honestly, before you even listen to it, I'll let you know. I'm hoping I get more messages, or this individual actually calls in during one of the Thursday Freakouts. I think it'll be instrumental to I guess, to what they represent and what they're showing and what they're telling. But we're not going to discuss that now. You have to listen to it first. Dr. Green is in the chat box live. He said, how's the grill? Slightly better, but still not where it should be. And let's get to that first track, because I know Dr. Green is waiting for it. He he kind of likes these things. I'm sure he does.
You can hear the caroling song with all Santa's little helpers. Can't wait for him to be along. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. Picking out the leaves on the crooked Christmas trees. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. Oh yeah. Just to spend some good old time with my family. We got the chestnuts slowly roasting to the voice of Nat King Cole. And when you're not really looking, mistletoe. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. It's the most wonderful time, wouldn't you agree? That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. Oh yeah. Just chilling and hanging out with family.
Come on, that was not that bad. That was a pretty good song, actually. And that goes out to all the Texas listeners with a little bit of a country sound. That is Christmas to me. And hopefully it gets for you as well. Now, without further ado, I have a listener who's an experiencer who has been in contact with, I guess you would say, not extraterrestrial, but extra-dimensional beings. And he left a message yesterday. So without further ado, check this out.
Hi, Manny. I'm calling in today to let you know about an experience I've had with what you would call the Nordic aliens. Been a long time listener. Really like your podcast. You really kind of take that working man perspective and apply it to to the whole UFO topic. So, to kind of start off here, as a child, I had a lot of really vivid dreams of these beings that were, tall, blonde. I grew up in a very religious household, so when I told my parents, my mother attributed them to angels, not aliens. Um, so for a lot of my younger life, I remember these very vivid experiences with these angelic creatures. Um, as I got older, those dreams stopped. Up to probably about 5 or 10 years ago, somewhere in that range, I started having those same kind of dreams periodically. Um, these these beings would um, while I was asleep come to me, and I would usually be in a place that was very bright, very white. Um, they wouldn't talk to me per se, but they would stare deeply into at me, and give me either the telepathic projection of an images, or sometimes even words or an understanding of an idea, an explanation. It's hard to explain. It's very when you're at the situation, it's you understand it, but you don't know how you understand it. They got more frequent the last couple of years, and they've been more accessible for me to interact. At first, a few years ago, I wasn't able to interact. I felt like paralyzed in that situation where I didn't know what to do. I wasn't panicked. I was calm, but I couldn't move. I couldn't really do anything besides receive the information from them. The last couple of years, though, I have been able to ask questions, to interact more. I don't know if it's because they're allowing me to, or because I'm getting more used to the situation or the feeling of being there and whatever they're doing. So I've asked them questions, of course. You're very much interested in what's going on, why. I think I've gotten into more of the UFO alien things since these started happening. Actually, I told a coworker, like one time, jokingly, that about like a crazy dream, and they kind of pointed me in this direction. As far as UFOs, it's not something I was into originally, but I've become more interested. I've done more research. I don't know if that's helped with the fact that I can communicate with them, but the last couple of years I've been able to talk to them. I've asked questions. Of course, with anything, the situation, you ask, why me? And they basically said that they've contacted people throughout time, and they're just trying to understand or get the understanding that humanity is not where it needs to be at this time, and we need to accelerate the idea of humans being more cooperative, more peaceful, more tranquil with one another. Also, I've got another experience with them, and I've asked them, and the asking isn't always verbal. It's sometimes like almost like you have like a thought. I'm like, I need to know this, and one of those was, why? What the hell's going on here? And in that case, they gave me the idea that they're trying to get humanity ready for the next level, to be able to interact with not only each other on a global scale, but other civilizations out there in the greater world. And I asked, kind of found out, I'm like, well, are you aliens? Where are you from? What they gave me was this is primarily a vision. It's gonna be hard to describe, but they're not aliens. They are from Earth, just not Earth of this dimension. How they explained it, or how I understand it, is that there are a number of different possibilities out there. A multiverse that we can perceive, only up to a certain level in the fourth dimension of time. But there are beings that they can see across the infinite timelines from the Big Bang. And how they kind of gave this to me was an image. It's almost like a stream of worlds, of possibilities that they see out there, where, not minute things, but large things that change the course of humanity altogether. And what they're trying to do is, across these multiple timelines and multiple Earths, is to bring humanity to a point across all of them where we can interact with other people, interact with other civilizations, and then they're going to reveal themselves to us. Some of my research I've done is into what I'd consider almost, regular history, and I think I haven't asked them this, but I think that because they have said they've contacted people in the past, that some of the ideas we have as a society have come from them. I haven't had an opportunity to really nail that down with them. Last 6 months or so, I haven't had any visitation. The one before that, I went back to being almost paralyzed by them. But another opportunity I had to ask them a question. I asked them how they do this. How, if they're humans, do they get to this point? And they kind of explained to me that while they are different, they developed a different chemical composition in their brain than we did, and that allowed them to not necessarily traverse multiple dimensions, but see them, understand that there's more than just the 4 dimensions. I've researched this a little bit, and what I think they're going with is there's a chemical in the brain called DMT, which some people get through psychotropic experiences, hallucinogenic drugs, that they have these overwhelming feelings of peace, love. I think that's what these interdimensional beings have been able to create in their own mind in these situations. So they're able to perceive that and maybe take it to the next level and be able to understand that, while we're on Earth and we may be alone on this planet as a sentient being, we can see that there are other Earths, other people. And I think what they've done is they developed the technology from this understanding of it to traverse those different universes, to leap from world to world. And they have a plan, and the plan is to shepherd us to be a more peaceful situation, more peaceful population, and to get us ready to understand this. So I've asked them, of course, also, why me? What do you want from me? That's the burning question. What they said is, there are different people in different situations they've talked to, they've worked with, and in my goal is they said to be, take this and these events, these experiences, and, be able to really live from them, grow from them, and to spread the word. Unfortunately, not really able to do that. Most people, if I told them, probably think I'm some kind of crazy person. Of course, it's kind of out of the ordinary. And with the job I have, it's not something where I can freely talk about these things and still be employed. So one of the things that's why my voice is masked on this recording. It's just because of that. However, I do want everyone to know that there are other beings out there, maybe not aliens, but from another dimension of Earth, that are a higher level of humans, and that we have the ability to evolve and to be better. And that's really it. So, Manny, I just wanted to get this out there to you. I really appreciate your podcast. I think you do a great job. And, that's really it. Thank you.
Listen, anybody that gives me a shout out after something like that, come on. It's got to be a good guy. Gotta be a good guy. In the chat box right now, live, we have Dr. Green says, interesting story. He also says that Buddhist monks claim to be able to meditate to a higher plane to the point where LSD has no effect on them. God, they're the worst addicts on the planet. You can't even sell them shit. But actually, Dr. Green says, yeah, that kind of jives with this individual, what they're saying. Ronnie says it's a cool story. Dave says he did well calling in. Yeah, actually, Dave, this was pre-recorded. He left a voicemail on the call-in number for UFO Buster Radio. So we don't really know who he is. The number was blocked. It came up as an unknown number. So, and as we heard him say, he's masking his voice because of his employment. And, you know, what could I say? A lot of these things become secondary, especially when it comes to the UFO topic. And you being able to make some moolah to support your family. See what I mean? Like, I don't know, this missing teeth just it fucks up my speech. So, yeah, listen, it's up to you guys. You guys tell me, do you think, and let's just give him a name because there's no name on there. We'll call him, I got Dr. Green here. Let's call him Mr. X. Why not, right? Let's end the year in mystery. Do you think Mr. X is giving us a real deal story? He seems really confident, and like I say, anyone that gives a shout out to UFO Buster Radio is cool to me. Ronnie says he sounds disguised like Bob Lazar did. And you know what, Ronnie? That's right. When Bob Lazar first came out and they had him out in Las Vegas on the news, yeah, as a shadow, yeah, his voice was distorted as well. Dr. Green says this dude needs to call in live. I don't know that he would. Really don't know that he would. I wonder if maybe I could do something like that where we can like pre-record it, maybe. And maybe if Mr. X here wants to pre-record the interview, maybe I can interview him and then figure out a way of how I can, I don't know, help him out with his, I don't know, secret identity, I guess. Maybe we can go with that, but we'll see. It's up to you guys. As a matter of fact, I hope that he leaves another message. Mr. X, give us some more information. Let us know. I mean, there's a lot of information there that I think for many of us who believe in UFOs and things like that and alien beings, that one of the theories is that they're interdimensional, and that kind of like fits right in there. But, geez, what can we do? How can we bridge that gap in between dimensions? Because apparently we are not there. Now, I did find something fascinating about what he said. Two things, actually. The first thing is he kept on saying, I think 2 or 3 times he said the next level. The next level. We know that we heard that a lot when we had a prior guest with Stephen. He's probably listening right now. And he was a member of the Heaven's Gate. We know at Heaven's Gate, T and Doe, they always talked about, the next level. Are these guys somehow, these interdimensional beings, are they somehow connected to Heaven's Gate and what T and Doe were saying that their members needed to reach that next level? Because we heard that in this audio like 3 times. Is there a connection? That's the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this. That is really fascinating to me. Completely fascinating. It's interesting and fascinating. The other thing is, it drives me fucking insane when I hear the aliens want to save us. I mean, come on, fuck off, aliens. Really? Are you that much better than we are? Come on, go probe yourself, you fuckers. But, again, it's another thing that we hear a lot from experiencers, that ET is trying to get us to a place where we can be saved. I mean, isn't that the job of Christ? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. It's just a crazy story in many ways, but still jives with so many theories when it comes to alien life. So, you guys make the call. Mr. X, hopefully you can call in. Maybe we'll set something up if you're up for it. Dr. Green says he has 2 harmonizers that he can, that we can use, I guess, get an interview on here with you and see what your story's about. Yeah, I think Ronnie says that aliens are just looking for some good LSD. LSD, a little bit of DMT apparently, but I guess whatever gets you to become interstellar. So the last point on this is, what do you guys think? Do you think Mr. X is really maybe even letting us know what's coming down the line for humanity? Or is there a DMT issue here? I'd like to know, right? Check out this track. Dr. Green says he's not ready to call bullshit yet on this guy. He sounds solid so far. We'll have to find out what the heck is going on. The other thing is, I remember Ronnie's experience also included, it seems to be interdimensional beings as well. So, it might not be a strange or, unexperienced thing, I guess, to have interdimensional beings just show up and stop the presses for us, just to give us a message. Dave says, my experiences in the occult over 15 years ago, my experiences with entities during astral projection. That's another topic there, which is pretty fascinating to me. They never had a concept of human emotion or the physical for that matter, but the astral projection, the astral plane has several vibrational planes of existence. And he says, yeah, it looks like Mr. X Sounds like he was experiencing and certainly believes in astral projection. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell from that. But, you throw in DMT, bringing human beings to the next level. And the fact, though, that he was dealing with this as a child kind of throws a curveball for me in that whole conversation. Because how many kids get on LSD? Come on. Or have access to DMT, for that matter. So it is quite the fascinating story. Hopefully we'll hear some more in the future. And Mr. X agrees to become another member of the UBR UFO Buster Radio interviewee historical archives, if you will. Time to go to Asgardia. Grab your hammers. Yeah. Grab your hammers, Odin's son. Asgardia has been on my mind as of late. I feel like they dropped a bomb on us a few years back. Like they just dropped that hammer from the God of Thunder, and then they disappeared. Well, no, it's not that they disappeared, it's that people kind of forgot about them for some reason. Like, how can you forget Asgardia? How can you? And when I tell you that Asgardia is live and well, and it is expanding its reaches beyond what you and I, for those of you who are not citizens of Asgardia, really thought that they would. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a disease. I mean, not a disease. It's like spreading wide. Space Nation Asgardia is recruiting Vermonters to leave Earth behind. Now, the thing is, when I looked at this at first, I was like, Vermonters? What the fuck are Vermonters? Who the fuck? What is that? Are they talking about like the planet of Vermonter? And there's alien beings that they're in contact with? God, I'm telling you, man, when they pulled out this teeth and the back part of my jaw, that tooth was attached to my brain because a chunk of it came off, I guarantee you. It turns out a former member of the British Parliament wants Vermonters to join him in space. His name is Lembit Öpik. And he's actually out in Vermont, the state of Vermont. And he's recruiting residents to join him as citizens and residents of Asgardia. Now, what is Asgardia? There's a lot of new people to UFO Buster Radio, and really a lot of new people to the topic of all this madness that fucking goes on. And a lot of it, I'm telling you, it gets swept under the rug real fucking quick. Asgardia is a self-proclaimed non-profit space nation, and basically the ultimate plan is to leave the planet Earth behind, stick all of its citizens into a space station, and kind of go into like international space. You know how we have international waters where there's no fucking rules, right? Like no country has control over that area of water. So that what they're thinking of doing is building a space station, put all their fucking people on it, and then basically get far out of the reach of the laws of the planet so that they can live under their own rules in democracy. Ain't no fucking democracy. Come on. That sounds like a setup. It really does. Well, here's something fascinating for you folks in Vermont. There is approximately, give or take, 100 or so. Same thing I was saying in the last podcast. There's about 1,000-ish residents of Vermont that are citizens of Asgardia. And no fucks given. They actually tell us around where these Asgardians in Vermont are clustered. I mean, they're being outed pretty much in this article. If you live around Essex, Stowe, or Burlington, according to Asgardia, there is a significant amount of Asgardians living there, citizens, that you may not be aware of. Like, you could be going to a dentist, and that rubber dicker is an Asgardian. You may not know, but if he walks around with a umbrella all the fucking time, he's probably Thor. I promise you. Or Loki. Or one of those. Igor Ashurbeyli founded Asgardia in 2016. Yeah, so about 3 years ago. And he's a billionaire. I think he's more like a billionaire. But he put millions of his own personal money into the founding Asgardia. He is a Russian scientist, is pretty well off, has a lot of money, and he's dissatisfied with the way Earth affairs are run by humanity. And a lot of the things that were released in the first press release back in 2016 was that they were going to guard the planet from threats from space. But if you're not building your society, your space nation as a bunch of fucking superheroes, what are you doing then? I mean, really, stay away from the comic books. You're dangerous. It turns out that he was in Canada when he came up with the idea that he can do a lot for the human community if it just started over again. He's like, fuck it, let's just erase everything. Everything's fucked up here. Let's just find a way to get a bunch of fucking people and send them to another planet. Can be like, why not? Well, no, not another planet, but off the planet is actually what he's trying to do. Now, this guy in Vermont, Mr. Lembit Öpik, had an interview with a paper, and he said pretty much is this, that the best way that this can occur for Asgardia's future endeavors and Igor's dream would be to just leave the planet altogether and reside somewhere just outside the rule of law of the countries on the planet. I mean, come on, fuck it. What can you do? You might as well just take off. But, like I said before, if you really think that the countries on the planet are going to let you rule space just outside of our planet, you're fucked. Your space station's going to get nuked. I just feel it coming. I just feel like someone's going to screw the pooch over in Asgardia. It's going to go down. Now, the other thing is, one of the things that they, of course, said from the beginning, Igor Ashurbeyli and the crew, which now has a parliament, a mayor, and all kind of prime minister. I mean, seriously, they built together you can say, quote unquote, a fledgling country, nation. And they're all over the place. They're scattered all over the world, but we'll get into those numbers in just a bit. It turns out that Asgardia recently, as far back as November of this year, was planning to ask for a little bit of help. See, they are trying to basically get their act together and their space station in space by, let's see here, I believe it's 2043. 2043. That's when they want to build their new society. So right now, residents and citizens of Asgardia are scattered throughout the planet in different countries. As of today, there are 150 elected representatives, and they all met back in November at the first parliamentary session in Tallinn, Estonia. Of course, the chairman of Asgardia is no one other than Vermont's big cheese, Lembit Öpik. And he told the Business Insider Group that the group considered, or the nation considered, approaching Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos to help them get into outer space. They figure that the two tech billionaires have enough experience in their own endeavors to help the space nation get to where they need to be. Now, I'm just saying this. Fuck 2043. That's a long time from now. Like, I would not have signed up for something that is not going to come into fruition for another 25 fucking years. Like, some of the people, fuck, Igor Ashurbeyli won't even be around in 25 years. So all these people who signed up, I hope you were like young and ambitious, or following what you thought the in crowd was going to do, because any of you old fuckers sign up, you'll be dead way before you make it to your Asgardia space station. You can, yeah, get your money back. Stop paying the fucking taxes. That's just ridiculous. And it's not a tax, it's an annual residency fee. I'm trying to figure out how much that is, but shit, I don't know. According to the article, also more than 300,000 people are already paying Asgardia's annual residency fee, but the UN and their rules suggest that Asgardia's ambition to set up a space nation won't be realized for some time, if ever. So even the United Nations, UN, hey, listen up, Asgardia just told you to fuck off. Especially by 2043. You'll see. So there you go. Igor Ashurbeyli is not playing around. He wants to get this done. And if you're wondering who the Prime Minister of Asgardia is, it is Ana Diaz, and she's a lawyer from Venezuela. I mean, they're not playing no fucking games. I mean, come on. Its Chief Justice is Xiao Yung. He's another lawyer from Hong Kong. I mean, they are taking people from all over the planet, man. I feel like something else is going on here. They've got something else doing. Ashurbeyli, when I said earlier that he put millions of his own money into Asgardia, turns out he invested about $12 million of his own bucks, and another $2 million came in by members of the public who are now Asgardians and residents of this space nation. Now, I don't know how many people signed up for Asgardia, but geez, come on. Something's going on. What is going on with Asgardia? Dr. Green says, do we need a passport to visit Asberg? Dr. Green, Asberg is in your neck of the woods, in your backyard, if you will. They're everywhere. Asgardians are everywhere, and I'm going to give you some numbers in just a second. Welcome Zachariah to the live chat. We got a full house. Zachariah, I hope you were able to chime in, or actually you probably missed the call-in that we had, but you're welcome to go back and give us some situations about what you think about someone that we'll call Mr. X for now until we figure out who he is. Here's some numbers. Believe it or not, the most significant cluster of Asgardians, residents, and citizens reside in China. China. Had to hit that up for Mr. Impeachment. China. 153,889 Chinese folks have given up their citizenship, or have dual citizenship, actually. Because I'm sure in China, if you told somebody there that you were part of Asgardia and you didn't really give a fuck about the Chinese government, you'd be in the Kung Pao, serving your little town eventually. The next country, number 2, you would not believe, I don't even believe it, the country of Turkey. The country of Turkey, 125,894 Turkish peoples are saying they want to get launched into space in 2043 and become full residents and citizens of Asgardia. I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem like they fit the They don't fit the mold of an Asgardian. I'm just saying. Country number 3, United States. God dang it, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, United States came in at number 3 with 106,000, almost 107,000. Number 4, India, 42,000. Indonesia, 41,000. Brazil. Really, Brazil? Come on, you gotta do better than Brazil. 36,000. UK. Here's the other thing. You guys in the UK need to pick it up. I mean, you only got 33,700 Asgardians. Come on. More of you need to leave. Join the US. We need to get into those 6 digits. You guys are not being very good partners in the global landscape. Italy, 30,006. Russia, 29,700. It is amazing the amount of people that actually signed up to be Asgardians and be part of the first space nation. I mean, good luck. And like I say, if any of you are collecting Social Security, you're pretty much fucked. You're not going anywhere. You could just kiss your ass goodbye. You're never going to see that space station. Now, there's some other numbers here. There's a total of 1,062,850 Asgardians throughout the world, the planet Earth. Of those, 2,500 are residents, and I believe the residents are the ones that pay up the money, or vice versa. I have no idea. I think maybe the Asgardians were the ones that first paid up the money. The residents are the ones that are trying to get in and need to pay their dues. I don't know. It's all shit. It's all just crazy to me. But you people will have to wait to 2043, and that's if the Parliament, the Prime Minister, and everyone else that's part of Asgardia can get their asses Guardians together and convince someone to help Igor Ashurbeyli lift his nation into space. Nonetheless, it's a fascinating story. I guess we'll see what's going to happen. Guess we'll see. By the way, if you have an interest into reading about Asgardia and the Asgardians, the links are in the description for the articles that I talked about today. There is no link to Mr. X, and not yet at least. Ha ha ha. So hopefully he'll call in and give us some more info, something we can further ponder about his situation. It really, in a way, it sounds like he had a cry for help. And I mentioned the other day that I had like two groups of experiencers that reached out to me about joining their group. And, you know, they got to know. I mean, they got to know that I'm going to go in there and probe them. Probe them for answers only. Don't let your dirty mind go in the wrong place. But I need to know. I need answers to this. I really do. So basically, thank you guys for listening. Thanks to the guys who are live in the live chat. You also can be in there, no matter what country you're in. All you got to do is go to Spreaker.com, look for UFO Buster Radio, download the app onto your phone, your tablet, your computer, and whenever we're live, you get a message that says, we're live, and you can go in and chat. You can meet the guys that are in the chat box right now. They'll chat with you. They chat about a lot of things that I don't even mention on the podcast because it's a whole separate show altogether. Tomorrow is the Thursday Freakout. Big O claims he'll be joining us, and hopefully he does. We'll talk to him about Mr. X and among other things. And hopefully we have the crew that we have now in the chat box ready to come in and give their perspective on the topic for tomorrow, whatever that may be. I have no clue. But I thank you guys for listening. UFO Buster Radio checking out. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the UBR Truth Seekers page, the group that's on Facebook, because the party continues there. It's almost like the after party, kind of, except there's no like drugs. I mean, you guys can go home and do all the drugs you want, but it doesn't happen in the group. But maybe one day it'll happen virtually. Who knows? Because pretty much no fucks are given. Ronnie says, Mr. X, come back. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Ciao.